I took a driving school class here, like when I was learning to drive. It was taught by a trucker who, I love it. That was my favorite part, is when I got old enough to where teachers didn't have to be certified. You know what I mean? Like, all throughout your childhood, those teachers are rigorously certified to make sure they know what they're doing. And then you get to high school and they just kind of quit. You know? Like, most of them are, but then you get some teachers who are like, let me tell you about the government. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, this is an ROP program. All right. This is why he loves wood. He hates society. All right? Starting to put the pieces together. I had a woodshop teacher in high school that, you ever meet someone who none of their dreams come true? So now they're stuck at a job and they never let anyone forget it? That was my woodshop teacher. I had a woodshop teacher in high school. His name was Mr. Brent. And he was pretty regular amongst other things. He had all his fingers. He wasn't one of those guys. You know, he was like, oh, he's missing a hand. No, he had all his stuff. But he was missing most of his heart. He was missing a part or section. He was a hateful man. I think he had goals and dreams, none of it worked out. Or maybe he just loved wood, but he realized he couldn't make a living with wood without teaching it to humans. And so he was just pissed all the time. And of course, woodshop's a stoner class. That's a class you take where you're like, I'm done. I finished that algebra, and now I need to fill my schedule. I'm working wood. That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyone take woodshop here? Clap it up. Cool. Nice. Do you work in wood today? Of course. Because no one did. Does anyone work in wood currently? Is anyone running a mantle clock shop as we speak? Just busting out mantle clocks. Anyone making Adirondack chairs to pay the rent? Anyone doing that? No, because it's not a real job. Maybe it was one day, but that shit's made in China. And Mr. Brand couldn't let go. So he's like... And I kind of thought about him, I'm sure he's in high school making his mantle clock. He's like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And then he graduated, and they're like, that doesn't, what? You might as well have just said you wanted to be The Rock. That's not going to happen. And he's like, well, you can teach these stoner kids that don't want to be in school. And he's like, damn it. And so that's where he was. He would just yell at us constantly. I remember one day he lost it on us, and he just went around the room, and he asked each of us what our dream was. And then he told us why we wouldn't make it. I know that sounds like I just made that up out of thin air. That was a real thing that happened my junior year of high school. And it was one of my favorite moments of school. Because it was this moment where he was just being brutally honest with us. And he went around the room. He started with this kid, Brock. I went to the school. This kid, Brock, he was pretty much the Spicoli of our high school. He loved to surf. He had cool long hair. And he loved surfing. And he's like, what are you going to do with your life, Brock? And Brock was like, I want to be a professional surfer. And he's like, oh yeah? Well, have you already won any national championships? Because Kelly Slater won 2 national championships before he was even 15. You haven't done that? That means you're never going to make it. And you should realize that now before it's too late. And Brock's just like, what the hell? You can see tears welling up in his eyes. Everyone in class is like, what the hell's happening? I'm dying laughing. Because, I can't believe this is happening outside of a movie, Then I went to the next person, what do you want to be? I want to be a writer, Mr. Brown. You can't even read. Are you kidding me? He just destroyed every student going down. And I'm dying laughing. This is the most entertaining thing that's ever happened in my 4 years at San Marcos High School. And then it comes to me, because he sees me laughing. He goes, Zoltan, what the hell are you laughing about? And I go, this is beautiful. That's all I could get at. I'm like, this is beautiful. And he goes, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I want to be a woodshop teacher like you, Mr. Brown. And there was a pause, and then he just kicked me out of class. And I had to go to the office and explain what happened. And I explained it, of course, my way. What happened? He asked me what I wanted to do with my life. And then what'd you say? I said I wanted to be a woodshop teacher like he was, and he kicked me out of class. And the principal, who I think knew how I meant it, but couldn't admit it, because then we're both admitting that guy's a loser, just had to go, oh, we all have bad days.
We're here, Shank Hall, Milwaukee, on a Friday. I know, yeah, it's hard to get excited. I get it. It's still kind of the summer. And it was cloudy, but you're here. It was a building named aggressively. Some of you turn to loved ones, and you're like, where are you going? I'm going to Shank Hall. Leave the light on, all right? But I love it, because you come in, and it's exactly what you want it to be. Just a bunch of pictures and good lighting. It feels warm. There's carpet. I love it. Good, thick carpet, just like your old airport. So I don't think I've ever landed in Milwaukee before. Today was my first time landing in Milwaukee. And great. I liked it. But you can tell, anytime you can tell how old an airport is as soon as you put that rolly bag down. And if it's like, oh, we got thick carpet. All right. This was built before they started putting wheels on luggage. This is back in the 80s when people used to carry their bags like men, just carry them. And now we got wheels. That needs to be hardwood for the quick squeak squeak, you know? But I like it. The rental car station was right there, right next. That's where you want it to be. I don't like a shuttle. I don't like that. I don't know what people did to shuttle drivers that make them drive the way they do. They're like, oh, did you just get off a flight in the middle of the air? And you didn't get nauseous? Well, check this out. Because I have a school bus with the worst suspension you've ever seen. And we got a lot of turns to get over to the rental car station. Oh boy, get ready for a little nausea. But not here. I like it. It was connected. It's connected, but it also looked temporary at the same time. I don't know if you've rented a car at your own airport. That would be weird if you did. Something horrible happened that day if you had to take an Uber to the airport with no luggage. That looks like you're there for an event. That looks like you're there for something you're going to be on the news for later. If an Uber driver drops you off at the airport without any luggage, you're like, no, I'm here to pick up a rental car. Our car's broken. So if you don't know, there's a rental car thing. It's connected to the airport, but it's temporary. There's no hard signs. You get over there, it's just little sandwich boards that you don't even pay attention to. They're like, are you trying to get rental cars? Go down the elevator. And then you don't see that. You're on the phone going, I don't know what I'm doing. And then you miss it. You miss it 4 times and you get down there and it just looks like they're closing up all the time. It looks like they're getting ready to move the rental car shack to somewhere else. But yeah, that was my day coming in. It was nice. Almost didn't make it. Flew in from New York City. And my flight got delayed. They delayed it the night before. Do you ever have that? Where you have a flight the next day and they let you know the night before? They're like, don't even bother waking up. Your flight's later. And you're like, that's not a good start. That's never good when they delay your flight 12 hours before. You're like, that's not weather related. Something's wrong with the plane. They're missing a plane or they're missing human beings. And so I showed up a couple hours later, went to the gate that was supposed to say Milwaukee, and it said Portland, Maine. And it said the flight had left. And I don't know if you've ever had that, where you go to the gate and it doesn't say the city you want to go to, and it says the city that it did say that plane's gone. And then you're looking at your phone, and you're like, yeah, this is the gate you're supposed to be at. Then I Google it, and Google's like, yeah, that's where you're supposed to be at. So it's just me and a bunch of strangers that don't want to talk to each other. We're just kind of giving each other the eye, like, you trying to get to Milwaukee? You're just trying to judge everybody based on their cholesterol levels. Like, are you trying to... You're going to Milwaukee, aren't you? Just be straight up with me. You're going to Milwaukee, all right? And so we're all doing that. And then some poor Delta employee just like stumbled behind the counter. And he's like, his first words are, I'm not supposed to work this flight. That was his opening sentence. After the flight was already supposed to take off 10 minutes ago. And we're all just standing there not knowing. He's like, I don't know. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to work at another counter, but I noticed no one was here and everyone looks confused. Just so you know, that information is from that plane that already left. Your plane, I don't think, is here yet, but I think when it shows up, new information will come up on the board. He took 10 minutes to let us know he knew less than we did. I don't know if I'm shocked I'm here right now. I can't believe I made it here. I'm like, this is the guy. No one even called him to be there. He was just walking by going, yeah, that's the airline I work for. I better start talking, or this is gonna be about 100 bad Yelp reviews. But I made it, you know. It's been a wild week, man. Wild week. Did you guys see that guy who broke out of prison? Yes. Did you guys see that? I saw that on the while I was waiting for my flight that didn't take off. I had a lot of time to scroll videos. There's a man who broke out of a penitentiary, a full-on prison in like Philadelphia, I think. I forget where it happened. But if you didn't see it, they have security footage of it, and it's wonderful because the way he did it is I don't know how to do this without doing it, but he climbed the wall by putting his legs there and his arms there, and he reverse Spider-Man'd it up and jumped a wall. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like, honestly, it just looked like he was filming like a TikTok challenge and accidentally escaped prison along the way. That's what it looked like. It looked like he was like, yeah, we got time to kill, check this out, bloop, 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 bloop. And then he's like, wait a second, yeah, and then just drilled it over the top. That was amazing. I feel like, man, how embarrassing is that for the guy who designed the prison? You know, that guy's probably a retired architect at home having coffee with his wife. And his wife probably found it. And she's like, didn't you design that prison? And he's like, yes. And then he had to watch the video of that guy going, scoop, 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 scoop. And like, well, I didn't think of that. Either that or he did. And he was just like, you know, like really creative design. And people are like, did you make it so nobody can escape? It's like, pretty much. Unless they think outside the box. But that's why I love that there's security cameras everywhere, because everything is getting caught now. Everything is getting caught. I love that everyone has a Ring doorbell. I love it. My whole Instagram feed is just footage of people coming home and tripping on their porch. And I love it. I love it. I think that's mostly what people are catching. It's catching like maybe 1% of porch pirates. Which that's not even a video, it's just some guy looking in the camera going, uh-huh, and then he runs off. Especially in the winter when people come out and their whole thing's frozen up. They're out there with like a dislocated back. I don't even know if that's an injury, but probably. And then their significant others just laughing, going, got the Ring doorbell. This is why we got it. Rented a car. I got a nice rental car. I got an Audi A3, which is very nice. I know. I drive I own a Honda Fit, so this is it's a big upgrade for me. You don't know how long it took me to figure out how to raise the volume on the radio. It was embarrassing. I was on the road just trying to figure out, you know what it was? I've never seen this before. There was a circle and it's a touch screen. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. It just went, you go bloop, you just run your finger on, there's no nut, you just run your finger on it like you snuck into the kitchen at midnight to get a little bit of peanut butter on your gums. You just run it and then bloop, there's the tunes. I was embarrassed how long that took me. I'm embarrassed how long a lot of things take me. I don't know, man. Like because my wife and I, we keep thinking about having kids, but then like I'm like, I should know more stuff. Like I remember, because kids ask questions. I was on a flight once, and there's a young kid next to his mother, and he's like, how do airplanes fly, Mommy? And she answered. And I leaned in, because I was like, yeah, how do airplanes fly? I'm not 100% sure. And she answered the question. It was early. I doubt she got a full night's sleep. And she's like, well, honey, something. I dozed off. I didn't get it. I think she said, well, it goes really fast. And then it's got the arms out. Like, I wouldn't be good at that. Like, if I had a kid, and like, Daddy, how do airplanes go? I'm like, I don't know. We're in the back, so we don't need to know. That's for that guy up there to know. We paid $400. That's how it flies, sweetheart. Pay $400 and then it magically goes. I just feel like you're supposed to know stuff. I'm embarrassed how long it took me to find out that raisins are grapes. 33. 33. That's when and not that I didn't, it's not that I was stupid, I just never thought of it. It never came up. And then one day I was like, someone had a picture, it was like online of raisins and grapes, and they were like, huh, and I was like, whoa! Oh my God, I can't have kids. I gotta at least live a life 10 more years, learn some more stuff before I start raising something. It's hard, man. I'm also not, I feel like you have to be patient with the kid, and sometimes I try to be, but it depends on the hour of the day, Like Miso, our cat, she eats too much, so she throws up, and I woke up to her throwing up on our bed. It was like at 6 a.m. early, and I was asleep, and I just heard, And my first thought was, I thought it was Emma obnoxiously drinking water. That's what I thought it was. My first thought was, seriously? You're just gonna some water right now? I don't even know why I thought that. She doesn't drink like that. I've never heard my wife drink like that, but for some reason, oh, Emma. Just glurping water. And then I opened my eyes, and there's Miso going, and I just went, damn it, no! And I shoved her off. And I tried to get her before she yacked on the comforter, but it was too late. She had already yacked on the comforter, and so she left a trail that went to the carpet. And that's when I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready for kids. You can't do that to a kid. You can't wake up and have a baby going, nay! Can't do that. They frown on that, from what I've seen in the documentaries. Not ready. I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know if my wife's ready either. She loves the cats, but I don't think she thinks about them all the time. We had a fire it wasn't a fire at our apartment, but it was a fire somewhere on our street. But we couldn't tell. Like, the fire department was everywhere. They knocked on our building's, buzzer. And then we came down. They're like, is there a fire? And we're like, is there a fire? What a weird way to ask. No, I don't know. And they're like, oh, it must be somewhere else. So we ran outside. And then once we were outside, I'm like, oh my God, the cats. And she goes, there's no time. And I'm like, the building's not even on. What do you mean there's no time? That let me know. Oh my God, if there's a fire in the middle of the night and I don't wake up, I don't even think I'll get a nudge. I don't even think I'll get a courtesy, hey! She'll just be out there throwing rocks at the window. Going, I tried. I don't know. I tried. I was already in a Red Cross tent wearing a blanket having cocoa. I tried to get you, but you weren't in time. Wow. It's wonderful. Yeah. I don't know. I've forgiven I don't think I was ever mad at my mother, but I forgive her. I don't know. Maybe that was a Freudian slip right there. I'm like, I don't think I was ever mad at her. Maybe. I don't know. She's wonderful. She's funny. She's funny without trying to be. Just because she's Hungarian and English is her second language. We had a family friend who had a baby, and she texted me a photo, and in the text underneath, she wrote, Marika just had her baby was just burned. And you know that's not what she meant. She wanted to say borned. And then, but she wrote burned, and I laughed. And I'm like, because clearly I could tell the baby wasn't burned. It was a healthy baby. They were in a hospital. You guys were like, wait, what happened? What was happening in this photo? While you were just laughing like a maniac. Happy, healthy baby. But my mom had a typo. And then I texted her back. I'm like, do you mean burned or borned? And then the phone auto-corrected me to burned. So I texted back, burned or burned? And that's when I found out borned isn't a word. You see what I mean? I'm not ready for kids. I I need to learn more things. Like, I was texting her back to make fun of her English, and I don't know it either. So I'm like, yeah, borned. Everyone likes being borned. Yeah. It's wild. It was as a wrestling fan. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome to Wisconsin. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you. I was done. I was like, oh, once I finish, I'll order one. But you guys just came in and you're like, he looks like he'll be thirsty soon. But yeah. Oh, and you got the right beer? Oh, no, that's a different one, but I like it. Spotted Cow? Oh, that's the local. All right. Well, I'll have to give that a taste. Wisconsin only? No, you guys don't export. No, there's no. All right, you guys are being a little North Korea about this beer right now. Someone's being a real Kim Jong-un about the local IPA, apparently. Nothing leaves our borders. This is for Wisconsinites. If I see that beer in Illinois, I swear. It's wonderful. I wouldn't have known that. Spotted Cow, only in Wisconsin. I'm gonna say that in Madison. I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna be like, you know, this is only in Wisconsin, and they're gonna be like, how does he know it so well? He's a magician.